Yeah, we'll get back to the Cavs in a sec, but over the weekend, Jeremy Fowler was on SportsCenter doing a hit on the latest with the Browns, all things, not just quarterback, but he had a comment on the quarterback battle that caught my eye that we're going to discuss here in a second. Jeremy Fowler on SportsCenter said, quote, "I'm told Watson hit it off with Todd Monken, who's got an offensive concept, some elements that Watson has run in the past and has been his best at. At the same weekend, on Saturday, we saw odds for who will win the Browns quarterback battle come out. FanDuel, the first one to put them out. Steve, if you want to show the odds. These are from FanDuel. Deshaun Watson, minus 174 to be the week 1 starter. Shedeur Sanders, plus 136. Dylan Gabriel at 55-1. And then BetOnline also put out odds. They had Deshaun Watson as a bigger favorite, minus 200, with Shedeur Sanders at plus 150. Dylan Gabriel odds were not on the board for BetOnline. Jay, between the Fowler report, Vegas putting out odds, what we heard from Mary Kay a couple of weeks ago, are you getting the sense that we may not actually get a true quarterback battle this year in camp for the Browns?
I think we will. I think
you still think it will be a real quarterback battle?
This is where we are in media 2026. Everybody has to know, like, okay, well, who's the starter going to be? We have training camp to go. And training camp is what always decides these things. Could there be a leader in the clubhouse? Yeah. And his name is Deshaun Watson. And that shouldn't come as a huge surprise to anybody. If you look at the ceiling for both guys, the potential ceiling, we know what what Deshaun Watson's ceiling is. He lived it for 3 years in Houston. Can he get back to that is the question. So I don't think this is a surprise, but I also don't think this is a done deal. I believe Shedeur Sanders will have a chance to win this job. What I won't say now is it's his job to lose, because I don't feel like it is. I feel like, from everything we're hearing, that Deshaun Watson probably has a slight edge over Shedeur Sanders. However, if Deshaun plays poorly in the preseason, doesn't look great in training camp, could they change their minds? Of course they can. We've seen coaches change their minds in the middle of games millions of times. Well, he's no longer the best quarterback on the team. You're on the bench. You're in the game. So this is not written in pen by any stretch of the imagination. And I do believe that we're going to get a fair competition in training camp. What I don't think we're going to get is, I don't think we're going to have a situation where you're counting reps and they're both going to get the same number of reps. If everything is true that we're hearing, and Deshaun Watson is the guy, he may get slightly more reps in training camp than Shedeur Sanders. But it's not going to be a huge disparity, and Shedeur isn't going to be on another field throwing to the C team wide receivers.
Yeah, I think, this is a football question. And more than anything about any of these questions about who people are and what they is and what quarterback. Here's the one thing I know. You win football games by playing football. You find out who's good by playing football. You find out who is better than somebody when you play football. So in order to figure out who the best quarterback is, or the best left tackle, or the best receiver, you actually have to have guys practicing with pads on throwing the football. Every single team, every single guy, or every single NFL organization has a depth chart somewhere. And guess what? Those things are fluid at this point. Todd Monken talks about it, and I think one of the best quotes he had is, I'm going to let everybody take the test. If you want to find out who the best student is, let them take the test. And the test in football is practice and training camp and the rule of the summer. See, it's a lot that goes into it. You not only can figure out somebody's good in shorts, but to figure out whether Shedeur Sanders has moved and his progressions are faster and he's seeing the game differently and he's matured and he understands where to go with the ball in the new offense, you actually have to see him doing that with live bullets and live snaps. If you want to see if Deshaun Watson is actually back, not just throwing on air, not just throwing the receivers with nobody around, I want to see, can you have accuracy with climbing in the pocket with trash all around your ankles, Myles Garrett bearing down on you, and you got to hit the guy over the middle. So you don't think, one of the things that we both think for both of these guys is hey, we talk about sacks, we talk about seeing, moving the pocket, timing, rhythm, all that good stuff. You only see that when people are playing football. So right now, hey, look, man, everybody can have an opinion on who the starting quarterback is or anything else. But the good thing about it is I think you have a coach that is going to Go out there, give them opportunity to show what they can do, and then let it fight it out. Like, because that's what it's about.
May the best man win.
May the best man win.
Yep.
Ain't nothing to it but do. And by the way, I even told somebody this. I just interviewed Coach Prime, and one thing he said is, you know what? Deshaun Watson then put some stuff on tape. Deshaun Watson is not no slouch. Deshaun Watson is a guy that has done some things in this year, in this league. And it's about the competition. It's about putting it on tape and beating somebody man to man. And so I'm interested in seeing it. That's the football conversation that I'm trying to have.
None of this is a surprise. We've been telling you for months. This is probably the way it's going to go. Todd has said he wants a starter. He'd like to name a starter sooner than later. I don't know at what point they're officially going to name it. I think Deshaun's going to be the starting quarterback on this team week 1. Now, how long does he keep the job? I have no idea. Can he stay healthy? He hasn't the last however many years. Can he be productive? He hasn't the last however many years. So I do think Shedeur's opportunity is going to come. But Deshaun, I've thought for a couple months now, Deshaun's going to be the week 1 starter of this football team.
Yeah, and as to the surprise part of it, I'm with you. When we would say in February that, hey guys, Deshaun Watson's still on this roster, and man, the pushback that you get it from all over, but everybody's like, Deshaun Watson isn't going to be the starter in this football team. He's still done more than anybody else on the roster has, and I think for me, although it's burned in my mind what he was the last 3 since he's been around, really, outside of that half against Baltimore, he just hasn't been he's been nowhere near what he was in Houston. But you guys know how it is. It's like when a player has had so much success earlier in their career and they're still 30 years old, to give up on that player, it almost feels like, do we really want to do that? It's almost like throwing a half-scratched lottery ticket on the floor. You have to see what you have. And I think the beginning part of this season is about seeing, has he turned back? Can he turn back into that guy that he was in Houston? Fans may not like it.
But Todd Monken don't care nothing about that.
No, he doesn't. He just wants the best quarterback is going to be on the football field for Todd Monken.
He into now. Like he's a new football coach. He's an offensive mind. Why would I take in my mind and burn in my mind what a player did under another coach in another system that I don't know
you can't do that.
So you come in with a fresh slate, and that's the best thing about it is because I love the fact that, you know what, even if you're a veteran and you had a spot when Kevin Stefanski was here or under the old regime, guess what? You don't got that spot no more unless your name is Denzel Ward or Myles Garrett or Schlesinger. It's a couple people who got spots.
When the coach changes, everything
changes, bro. You get a new boss. Hey, y'all acting funny. Listen, you get you a new boss. Have a merger, get you a new boss. They give you that on board and they come in, they give you a cup of coffee, you look around, they done bought out the senior executive, 2 other people, they got the resumes out, people putting feelers out, trying to clean up that LinkedIn profile. And if you're a young dude and you're a young up and coming guy, you gotta make some hay. You better get what committees are you on? Everybody know, Corey. You sign up for 2 of them committees. All of a sudden you at mixer events. You looking around trying to figure out what's going on. So now we got it. If you want the best, you gonna get the best Cedric Tillman. You're going to get the best Deshaun Watson. You're going to get the best at every position that's competition. Offensive line position is going to be up for grabs. So to me, everybody should be excited about the competition. To me, that's the way I look at it.
Well, I think the ballers they like it.
They love it.
They welcome it. Jay, you said something interesting to me that you think that the starting quarterback for the season will be announced early. By early, do you mean by the first preseason game?
Oh, well before that.
You do.
Yeah.
And now, is that to get all of the discussion and distraction of who's going to start out of the way?
I think it's to get.
I think there's benefit in that.
100% there's benefit in that, but it's also to get a starter ready for the season.
Sure. And that's why the reps aren't going to be even.
Right.
Like once a starter's named, you're not going to see the 2s and 3s getting a lot of reps.
You get that guy ready for week 1. So.
And it also puts to bed all of the controversy, the sports talk fodder, the fandom saying, who's going to win. He's not getting the same reps. Once a decision is made, then reps are parsed out at a completely different level. Nothing is equal then.
And you're right. You guys see it on the field. Yes, you have to see it on the field. But these guys have spent quite a bit of time around each other already.
On the field.
And so Todd's got, and in the film room and in the building and just picking each other's brains, whatever else. So already on May 18th, I think the Browns have a pretty good feel and understanding of who can do what,
right,
and where these guys are at in their progressions as quarterbacks.
I know this is a flyer and not part of this conversation, but to me, is there any world where Dillon Gabriel is on this team in September?
I wouldn't rule anything out.
Really?
Yeah.
I see this to be like you used the 3rd round pick on Dillon Gabriel, right? At some point, somebody thought he was good enough to start some football games for you,
Sure.
right?
Or you wouldn't have taken
The
him.
Browns, as an organization, took Dillon Gabriel to develop him to be a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, you can laugh at that and say, why would you use a top 100 pick on a backup quarterback? And I think that's a fair argument to have.
Yeah.
But they took
Especially
him.
when you don't have a starter.
They took him as an organization. They took him to develop him to be a backup quarterback. So now, do they change their mind? Do they pivot off that after 1 year? I don't know. But that was the thought process when they took him. It wasn't for a 1 year thing. So I wouldn't rule anything out.
I mean, I just wouldn't burn. I ain't gonna burn no money. Like I'm invested. I invested some games, some time, some reps in them. Now listen, if they come in and Taylor Green is looking like him, and they're like, okay, well, this is the upgrade to the upgrade. Like we're gonna take him as a flyer.
Things change. Yeah. Things
Now,
change.
is he in a dogfight for that? Sure, because if they pick the starter, you may have a battle where he's going to have to go throw for throw. I think it's 2 competitions. It's Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson, and there's Taylor Green, and there's Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, that feels right. Feels right. But to Jay's point, like you don't want to write anything in stone yet. There's a lot of football to go before we open the season. Training camp will tell the story.